Welcome to Alaska Weather, a production of Alaska Public Media and the National Weather Service, Alaska Region. Produced and broadcast daily from the studios of KAKM, Alaska Weather provides complete forecasts, public, marine, and aviation for all of Alaska. Alaska Weather is made possible by the following sponsors.
Support comes from the University of Alaska College Savings Plan, helping you and your child save for college every step of the way, from diapers to diploma. More information at uacollegesavings.com.
The National Weather Service.
Welcome to Alaska Weather. I'm meteorologist Percy, February 18, 2016. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and also on their www.arh.noaa.gov. Starting off with tonight's hazards, along the chain, Dutch, we're having a blizzard warning that's going to be from 6 a.m. tomorrow, extending through 9 p.m. Friday evening. And then for, for the St. Paul region, you have a winter snow advisory for blowing snow, half a mile at times, and you're looking for 3 to 6 inches there. Start off with the satellite here. I'll put in a loop. And you can see a occluded low that's been staying right there just southwest of the Anadar Gulf region in the northern Bering Sea. That continues to bring colder air on the backside as it wraps around into the western Aleutians through Shemya down onto Adak. The central Aleutians through the central Gulf, you're going to have another system that's starting to approach the chain, and it's just bringing southerly flow and more moisture to the Gulf. Put it in the loop again here. You have another weak occluded low just sitting over the southeast of Kodiak, and that's bringing some moisture over the northeast, and that's bringing some light rain in that. Through the interior, you have southwest southerly flow, and that's bringing some rain showers and fog to the southwest interior. Over the southeast, you have another weak low that's sitting over south of the Dixon entrance, and that's bringing some stratus in that. And there's a weak trough that's pushing off farther interior. And we'll continue with the loop here. This is clearing skies here through the southeast panhandle. They do have a wind chill advisory that's going to be out from tonight through to tomorrow morning for 30 degrees there just north of Juneau through White Pass. And there's this loop again. You can see the same thing we've been talking about, just more moisture coming up through the Gulf, and the colder air on the backside of the western Aleutians there and the western Bering Sea. Start off with today's weather. You're going to have a occluded low that's been sitting up there for the last couple days. That's going to continue to spin around and having the snow showers associated with it. Then you have the snow showers there through the Pribilofs, again with that advisory. The triple point low that's starting to form just south of the chain. Over in the southeast, you can have that occluded low again just sitting off of a Kodiak region, extending down and coming into a triple point low starting to form there farther in the North Pacific. And then you have this weak trough, as mentioned earlier, just pushing through the region. The northern central interior to north slope, you're going to have partly cloudy skies and gradual clearing. For tonight's weather, again, this triple point low starts to form and move towards Dutch. Again, you have the strong blizzard blowing snow conditions there near Dutch. The heaviest amounts would be just near Nokoski. They're looking for 6 to 10 inches. Again, the strong northwesterly winds, 45 knots with gusts of 65 possible. And then the occluded low that's sitting in the northern Gulf, again, it will just bring these troughs swinging around and bringing snow showers. The southeast, as we mentioned before, the occluded low will bring in some rain, strong southeasterly winds, Later on, the Marines will talk about that. And then the wintry mix as you go farther inland. And then in the Gulf, you have this included low that's continuing to bring light rain and stratus, and a wintry mix along the Aleutian chain and the eastern Kenai. Friday, these lows will start moving off farther to the east and gradually fill and diminish. You're going to still have this through the central Aleutians and the Dutch region. You're going to have a strong northwesterly wind still, so still snow showers, blowing snow issues there, and then this low just filling as you continue through the weekend. The southeast panhandle, this low moves farther close to the shore near Dixon entrance, and strong gustly winds. Again, there'll be light rain, and then a wintry mix as you go farther inland. Over the Kodiak region, this low will continue to fill and just bring light stratus and rain through the region, and a wintry mix through the eastern Kenai and along the Aleutian Range. Saturday's forecast, pretty much about the same thing as we've been talking about the last day or two. These lows are just gradually filling. Again, a wintry mix through the chain here, and then snow showers with the colder air through the Bering and through the western Aleutians and the western Bering also. The southeast, strong southeasterly flow, so you'll have plenty of rain, and that's going to ramp up the wind speeds here for Saturday, and a wintry mix as you go farther inland. Temperatures as 3 p.m. this afternoon. We had 41 there at Seward, 40 at Antioch, and 36 at Kodiak. A little cooler as you go farther north with clear skies and cooler temperatures. As you can see, 9 degrees farther north. Fairbanks coming in at 5 degrees. Farther to the Seward Peninsula region, you're going to have in the mid-20s to lower 15s mid-range there. The temperatures as 3 p.m. for the southeast, they're showing pretty much in the mid-30s to lower 40s. As you go farther north up, the Prudhoe Bay had -11, and a little cooler as you go along the northwest coastline here, and they start to warming up as you go farther south with this southerly flow. Along the chain this afternoon, mid-30s along the chain, the eastern chain, all the way out through until you get out to Shemya, 24. Again, with the colder air and northwest winds, it makes sense to have cooler temperatures out there, 24 at Shemya. And the Pribilof's coming in at 34 degrees. Tonight's low temperatures, you're going to have coldest temperatures to the north, again with the clear skies. The Yukon Valley region, again, you can see -33 just near the AKwx Pass, and up there 15 at Barrow. And you go along the southwest coastline, it's a little cool, a little warm, I should say, but again with the southerly flow, that's why it's warmer. Again, the temperature is going to be any range from the mid-teens to upper 20s along the chain and Aleutian Range, with that's a included low that's sitting over Kodiak, bringing that northeast flow and plenty of moisture to keep the cloud cover. For the southeast panhandle, you're going to have pretty much the mid-20s to upper 30s as you go near the Dixon entrance with this included low that's starting to push in the area. Tomorrow's high temperatures, again, will range in the mid to upper 30s with this included low, and it'll be a little cooler as you go farther north, clearer skies. Not much there to prevent the temperatures from getting any cooler. But anyway, you're going to have -7 at Barrow. As you go farther south along the northwest coastline, you can see in the teen range, Dillingham's coming in at 28. You go along the chain, a little warmer, again with this included triple point low that's forming near Dutch, so you're going to have plenty of cloud cover, and that's showing the higher temperatures here, 33 at the Pribs and 28 all the way out at Shemya. It makes sense with the colder air there in the westerly northwest flow. That's why they're cooler. Along the southeast panhandle, they're going to continue to stay warm with this southerly push with this next system, and you can see the highs are going to be in the mid to upper 40s. Tomorrow's flying weather is going to be marginal to IFR. The lowest conditions are going to be again with this occluded front that's there sitting off the southwest of the Antioch Gulf as it extends down through the Gulf, through the Bering Sea into the eastern Aleutians. And then you're going to have some with a weak trough moving through this region, the northern Bering Sea, and starting to enter the lower Chukchi Sea. The southeast panhandle from the panhandle all the way over to Kodiak, you can have marginal VFR, again with these occluded lows that have formed and are starting to dissipate. Tomorrow's flight path for AKwx VFR conditions, for Adigun VFR, for Lake Clark and Merrill MVFR, for rainy MVFR going to VFR, for windy VFR conditions, for Isabel VFR conditions, and for Mentasta VFR conditions, Tanita marginal VFR, Portage marginal VFR, Chillicook White VFR, and then tomorrow's freezing levels, again with the colder air coming down, that's why you see the freezing levels moving closer and closer to the chain in those regions. For the southeast panhandle, you have the warmer temperatures with that southerly flow and high pressure sitting farther off east of the southeast panhandle, so that's why you have higher freezing levels there. Tomorrow's icing are going to be above 5,000 for the most part through with this included low, as above 3,000 and occasionally moderate here with the triple point low that's forming near Dutch, and then above 4,000 through the northern Barents Sea and the Chukchi Sea portion. For the southeast, you're going to have some above 5,000 starting to approach the southeast region, but most of it's going to be along the western Gulf there with the occluded low there from Kodiak and the eastern Kenai region. Tomorrow's jet stream, you have the strong northwesterly flow, 175 knots, become more zonal, 185. And then as you go farther east, it continues westerly flow, and then southwesterly, 115 going into lower 48. You do have a southeasterly 50-knot jet stream coming over the southeast panhandle into the northern Gulf region, and the stronger finger of a jet over the south of the eastern Beaufort Sea going down into the Yukon region all the way up to Quebec region, southerly flow 85. And we do have a weak 50-knot southerly jet stream going through the central Bering. Tomorrow's winds, again with this low southerly flow, 30 to 50 knots, backside northwest 45, and these weak lows that are included lows, they're going to be anywhere range from 15 to 30 knots throughout there. The central, you're going to have southerly winds 15 knots. Tomorrow's 3,000 foot winds, I should say. Again, southerly winds in front of the low, northwesterly 30 to 40 on the backside. And these, not much going on with these lows here. They're starting to build, but at least the one in Central Gulf there, Central Aleutian, I should say. The easterly flow through the interior and southeasterly farther north near Barrow. And icing below 4,000 along the Antarctic Gulf region, and then along the chain below 4,000. Above 4,000 there near Dixon entrance. I'll be back with the marine forecast for you.
Jova Lunar Super Scoochie. Welcome to Stargazers. I'm Dean Regas, astronomer from the Cincinnati Observatory.
And I'm James Albury, director of the Kika Silva Plot Planetarium in Gainesville, Florida. Cue the music.
Oh no, let me guess. Another conjunction.
Yes, how'd you guess?
Well, you're dancing.
And with good reason. On Tuesday night, February 23rd, the moon is going to appear super duper close to Jupiter, the largest planet in our solar system.
The timing of this event couldn't be better because not only will observers on the east coast of the US get to see the pair at their closest, even if you live as far west as Denver, Colorado, you'll get to see them less than 2 degrees apart shortly after moonrise.
What are we talking about? Let's show you. Okay. We've got our skies set up for 9:30 p.m. your local time on the night of Tuesday, February 23rd, facing east. As you look east, presuming there are no clouds, you can't help but spot the waning gibbous moon in the sky. Just to the north of the moon, you'll see a bright, non-twinkling light. That point of light is our friend Jupiter. Jupiter is nearing its closest approach to the Earth on March 8th, so it will be exceptionally big and bright during this conjunction.
Close conjunctions like this require 3 things. 1, the moon's orbital path has to appear fairly close to the orbital path of a planet. 2, both the moon and the planet have to be near the same point at the same time. And 3, we have to be on the side of the Earth that's pointed in that direction so that we can see it happen.
The moon is traveling at almost 2,300 miles per hour around the Earth. So it travels almost a ½ degree or 1 full moon width against the background stars every hour. This means that if the moon is below the horizon when the closest part of the conjunction happens, by the time the moon rises, the moon very well may have moved further away. The objects will still be in conjunction, but not as close.
Now, if you've been watching the moon over the past 2 weeks, you probably noticed it's been gradually inching its way eastward across the sky, and its shape has been slowly changing from night to night.
If you observe the moon this week, it will be in a phase we call gibbous. Gibbous means humped, so it'll appear slightly rounded on the side furthest from the sun and perfectly rounded on the side closest to the sun. This is caused by sunlight reflecting off the daytime side of the moon.
The moon will appear full on the night of Monday, February 22nd, and we will see all of the daytime side and none of the nighttime side. Since the moon travels ½ degree per hour against the background stars, it will travel about 13 degrees through the sky in a 24-hour period. So if the full moon rises at 7 p.m. where you are on February 22nd, it will rise almost an hour later, near 8 p.m. on the following night, February 23rd. Fortunately, Jupiter is positioned in such a great spot, and the Earth is rotated at such an angle that most of the United States will get to see when the moon appears to pass directly south of Jupiter. This will occur at 9:38 p.m. EST, and the moon and Jupiter will be less than 2 degrees apart. In moon widths, that's almost 4 times the width of the full moon.
Let's now talk a little bit about the other participant in this conjunction, Jupiter. The planet Jupiter has been observed in the sky since antiquity. Babylonian astronomers have records of Jupiter dating back to the 7th century BC, and in his book, The Almagest, Greek astronomer Claudius Ptolemy used Jupiter's motion with respect to the Earth to refine his Earth-centered model of the solar system. Ptolemy showed that Jupiter took almost 12 years to make a complete circuit of the sky.
This year, Jupiter has multiple conjunctions with the moon. However, this one will be the closest pairing visible from the east coast. The west coast of the U.S. might not get to see this one at their closest, but they make up for it on August 5th, 2016, when the moon and Jupiter will be just a little under 2 full moon widths apart. That's half the angular separation of the February 23rd conjunction. So, mark your calendars. Keep looking up.
A lot of times people think, well, marine debris is the trash that I see when I go to the beach or maybe when I go and visit a local stream or waterway. But that's just the debris that you can see. Marine debris is submerged. It's floating around in our oceans.
Often, not only will you find the conglomerates that have multiple types of net in them, you also find pieces of plastic, parts of floats. You'll find a lot of laundry baskets.
Marine debris is any solid material that enters into the marine environment, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Marine debris is a global problem that affects all of our oceans across the entire planet. Floating marine debris is oftentimes mistaken for food by marine mammals and sea turtles. Whether it's a plastic bag that looks like a jellyfish or shiny pieces of plastic material that may resemble fish, these animals will go after this and eat it, and eventually it will cause them to starve. And this is because their stomachs will become full of plastic and they won't feel hungry and they won't find the need to eat. Derelict or ghost traps that are found under the water in areas such as the Chesapeake Bay or Puget Sound oftentimes will continue to fish for crabs and other animals. And the problem with this is that there's no one to collect them. So a net or a trap that is just rolling around under the water will continue to collect animals that will eventually die. Ghost nets present a very big problem to the habitat in the oceans, especially to coral reefs, as a net can smother or block out the necessary sunlight that they need. It also damages fragile habitats and the pieces of coral.
A lot of these nets that we find in the ocean are related to the fisheries industry, and it's not something that we can point a finger at and say, this is, your problem, you need to clean this up. We're all responsible for this problem based on the fact that we all like fish. So what we're trying to do, instead of pointing fingers, is take responsibility for the problems that we see. And it's not just one country's problem, it's all of our problem.
Marine debris is generated from various sources, from the large industrial and commercial end down to the specific individual behavior. When a person doesn't put their trash in the proper place or fails to recycle, a lot of times their trash ends up in the stream, in a waterway or storm drain, which is carried out to the rivers, which is carried out to the ocean. There are things that you can do to help the problem of marine debris. You can do the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, or recycle. It's very easy to do this, and it goes a long way towards preventing marine debris.
Welcome back to your Alaska weather. I'm meteorologist Perry Daney. Now starting off with the sea ice forecast. Again, the Chukchi Sea and the Beaufort Sea and the northern Bering is still covered with sea ice, and it is starting to extend down into the Kuskokwim Bay, and you do have some light ice through the Bristol Bay region. Also, we do have some thin ice also up in the northern Cook Inlet. With this southerly flow, some of the ice has started to retrograde back farther north, but with the winds starting to switch around to the north as we go into the weekend, look for this ice to continue to move back down to where it is right now, maybe a little closer to St. Matthew Island. Starting off Marine's forecast for the southeast for Friday, again with this low pressure system sitting off the coast, you're going to have southerly winds over the southern end of Dixon Entrance, gale force. In the interior, you're going to have northerly flow, gale force. For the outside waters, you're going to have north of Dixon Entrance, easterly small craft winds, and then start shifting more southeasterly as you get up near Yakutat. For southeast, for Saturday, again with the stronger low pushing in, you're going to have increased pressure gradients, and the outside waters are showing this gale force winds the southeast, wave heights 24, 23 feet. The inside waters, southeast 35 gale force, and then northerly as you go up towards Lynn Canal, 25 knots, small craft. For the Friday, southeast, again, northerly winds coming out of the Prince William Sound, and then with this low parked off southeast of Kodiak, you're going to have easterly winds here, small craft, gale force going through the Barren Islands. Through the Cook Inlet, northerly winds, small craft as you get down to the southern end, and then gale force through the Barrens, and then easterly winds through the Shelikof. And again, the same predominant flow, you're going to have this occluded low sitting down here in the southwestern Gulf, bringing increased pressure gradients. You're going to have gale force winds out of the east, then small craft coming out of the Cook Inlet, and then gale force as you come down the Barren Islands and through Shelikof. Through Friday for this marine forecast for Alaska Peninsula, you're going to have, again with this low sitting over Kodiak, easterly winds, small craft, and then northeasterly to easterly on the Bering side. For Saturday, look for continued southeasterly flow south of Kodiak, northeast near south of the Shumagon Islands, and then northeast flow, small craft, and freezing spray issues still on the Bering side. For the Aleutians for Friday, with this next system, that the triple point low forming near Dutch, you're going to have this northwest winds strong on this side from Dutch, and that'll extend all the way out to Shemya. A little weaker out there, but still westerly winds there. And your wave heights are going to range from 19 to 21 feet. For Saturday, continued northerly flow with the northwest flow on the Bering side for the along the chain, and then northwest flow on the Pacific side along the chain also. And then freezing spray issues from Adak all the way out to Shemya. For Friday, the west coast, you're going to have offshore flow through the YK Delta and the Bristol Bay region, easterly flow through the near St. Lawrence, northeast through the Pribilofs, and through St. Matthew, and then the easterly flow through the Pribilofs. For Saturday, a continued northeast flow coming off the YK Delta and the Bristol Bay region, freezing spray issues there, and then a northerly flow through the Bering Strait coming down to St. Lawrence, and then northeast flow through St. Matthew. For the Arctic coast, you're going to have easterly flow along the, from east of Barrow all the way to near Dead Horse, and then northeast to easterly as you go along the northwest coastline down into the Bering Strait. Again, no ice cover, I should say no sea heights. You're going to have ice cover, so there's no wave heights there. For Saturday, a continued northeast flow, colder air, and then pretty much all small craft and ice cover totally dominating, so no sea heights there. Tonight's forecast, you have, again, this triple point low forming there just south of Dutch. You're going to have some blowing snow issues. There's a blizzard warning out there for mainly near Nikolsky. They're looking for 6 to 10 inches, and then strong northwesterly winds gusting to 45 to 60 knots there. And then the occluded low that extended out into the Bering, with the occluded low sitting off there just southwest of the end of your Gulf region. And that's kicking off some light snow showers. For the southeast, you're going to have this occluded low that will bring continued rain up along the coast, increasing pressure gradients as we saw in the Marines. And then you're going to have a mixture, a wintry mix as you go interior. For the southeast interior, all the way up to the north slope, pretty much partly cloudy skies, nice conditions. This occluded low near Kodiak will bring light rain, and then that'll bring some mixture along the Aleutian range. For the southwest, you're going to have some isolated snow showers. Friday's forecast, again, these lows pretty much remain right where they're at, and they're going to fill and continue with light rain, and then wintry mixed along the chain and the Aleutians there, and the snow showers out there in the Bering Sea. That's your evening forecast for Alaska weather. Enjoy your night.
These forecasts are to be used for planning purposes only. Call 1-800-WX-BRIEF for a formal pre-flight briefing. Always file a flight plan before you go flying. The U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary urges you to leave a float plan with a friend or the harbor master before you go boating. Alaska Weather is made possible by the following sponsors.
The National Weather Service.